Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding Crypto Live Zoom session. It is Wednesday, November 20th, and we're going to take a look at the market. We're looking at the market cap still lingering at the $220 billion range, and the 24-hour volume is at $66.7 billion. So it did drop slightly from a couple of days ago. We were at, I believe it was like 74 billion. And BTC dominance went down 0.1% from Monday, from 66% to 65.9%. The top 10, very little red, just a few percent here or there. Bitcoin, Binance Coin, probably leading the way at 4.12%. But other than that, I mean, Ethereum just 1%, Bitcoin 2%, XRP 2%, Litecoin 2%. So very little movement going on right now in the market, and you can kind of see it from that 24-hour volume. It's dropped about $10 billion or so, but market cap kind of is a little consistent. Let's take a look at Tensor charts. Let me get rid of this tab here. Tensor charts, we have heat still towards the downside. The 78.80 area is kind of what they've been turning on and off, from bright yellow to orange to like this purplish, this I call it sherbet. This reminds me of sherbet ice cream. You guys like Baskin Robbins? This is the sherbet right here. So you can tell who's a fat ass when you can relate heat maps to, when you can tie in heat maps to ice cream. But other than that, there's not much, guys. Not much on top. Not too bad to the bottom. Very similar to what we've been looking at 78, 80-ish area. Market structure remains the same. So here's a 12-hour time frame. Market structure still underneath the 9 EMA, and you see how important that is. Until we crack that 9 EMA, we're going to continue, in my opinion, to just continue to creep lower and lower and lower. MACD looks good like it did the other day. So the other day when we're looking at this MACD here, there was a little bit of an uptick, but we hit that 9, got rejected, came back down. Now here it looks like we have a slight up. No, well, it's not even an uptick. It's pretty much just flat, but it looks like the beginning of it could be a little J hook. But we can easily hit this cross indicator again, or get close to it, excuse me, and then continue dropping down. We really have to see, I really would like to see a nice thrust and get us to close above the 9 EMA to be hopeful that the bulls are going to take control of the market. For now, we've got the bears slowly bleeding it out. 1 hour time frame doesn't look much different. We got a nice little spike here this afternoon, this morning, 11 o'clock my time, little $300 spike, little fake out. I'm sure it got some people excited and came right back down and right back into the $8,100 range. Ethereum on all the alts, pretty much, here it is, same for Ethereum. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash real quick. Bitcoin Cash looks the same market structure, and Litecoin, let's look at that. I don't think there's much there. Yeah, Litecoin about the same. Let's look at Link real quick. Link is the only thing that I'm really interested in getting. Okay, we're back to the downside on Link. This is a 12-hour time frame, guys, so I'm kind of looking at more zoomed out rather than the hour. There's nothing going on in the hourly time frame, so I'm more concerned right now on bigger time frames for bigger moves. So not much here. I'm still waiting for this thing to come down a good 50% and start filling some orders. So other than that, not much going on. Does anyone have any questions? Let me look here on Linux. Yeah, no, I'm not that big of a nerd, old school. I wouldn't know the first thing about how to run Linux. That's when you know you're a nerd. Only nerds run Linux. Those are pocket protector guys. Crypto PT, what's up, everybody? Hell yes, and you're proud of that. I love it, and you're proud of it. Mr. Mo, anything going on in the news? Anything no newsworthy?
Yeah. Let me jump into some news. I'm gonna grab the screen real quick so that you guys can follow the narrative a little bit. Just let me know when you see it.
Yep.
Okay. So So this is a continuation story, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Winklevoss brothers that own the Gemini exchange, they acquired a crypto collectible startup called Nifty Gateway, and it's pretty interesting because I kind of went down this rabbit hole, and I want to kind of expand a little bit more into this world. But this is going to be for digital collectibles, so digital assets, and potential store of values in the same manner that a Van Gogh can be worth, X amount of money. But this is so fascinating what's happening here. They have the crypto kitties, which is I think one of the main use cases that we've seen
Yeah.
of what a digital collectible. But I will say this: it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see what some of these things can go up to. Here's an example of a crypto kitty called Dragon. It is 600 ether.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Who's
so
that stupid?
look at that as a generation, especially in Asia. It's becoming more and more popular. But that's $104,000 for this digital collectible. I think this is going to continue to trend, but I wanted to share with everybody this community, and I was like, holy crap, this is cool. It's kind of like a platform, and it's pretty interesting what's going on there. Um, Let me just jump back to the headlines. So the Web 3.0 initiatives can drive crypto adoption across the globe. So Opera, I guess, wants to jump into the game, put wallet inside of the browser, and I think we're going to see, isn't BAT based on this concept, right? They're kind of taking a page from BAT.
Mhm.
But that's cool. Anything that brings adoption, that's the key, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Next headlines: with 7,600 blockchain patent applications, China's firms far outpace the U.S. This what people don't realize is this is a math war about who is going to be automating the new economies. This to me is okay. I'm hoping that the US really realize that they got to step up here, because look at the next article. China's digital currency launch definitely in 6 to 12 months. So they're going to roll out a
Hmm.
digital yuan. So this is coming. This was interesting. PayPal joins a 4.2 million round for crypto banking compliance startup. Right, that's PayPal. Knowing that if they want to remain relevant, they got to move into crypto. They
Yep.
got to do it. This was a fascinating one. It says, in war gaming exercise, a digital yuan neuters U.S. sanctions and North Korea buys nukes. So this is something also that as these digital assets come to market, and we kind of know the narrative somewhat of Asia and Russia and other nations wanting to see if they can move away from the dollar. If they can do it through these type of through this technology, which is much more efficient, that's what the race is, man. That's really what the race is. Um, Moving on. So let me see. There was one here. I'm not sure which one. What this was. God's Unchained transfer 6 million cards over Ethereum in 3 days. So this is God's Unchained, which is hang on, let me open this up, and just to make sure that I'm on the right page here. This is collectibles also, right? And I think this is running on the Ethereum protocol. So again, digital collectibles market, I think, is something we got to keep our eye on. There might be some opportunities there. And these kids today, they go into Fortnite, they buy, virtual clothing, they buy virtual land, they buy virtual everything. you know. All right, moving on. So local Bitcoins reports 135,000 new customers per month. That I thought was good, because a lot of the people that go to local Bitcoins are in like places like Latin America, Venezuela, Argentina. We're seeing spikes coming from those areas, right? Where they're having issues with the government's currency, so they switch to Bitcoin. Um, Moving on. So Bitcoin friendly governments will be biggest winners, Tim Draper says. I kind of agree with that. Shapeshift drops trade fees to promote self custody for the normal crypto user. So Shapeshift also is. I went in today just to log in into their exchange. It looks pretty cool. It requires that you use kind of like a hardware wallet. So I want to go a little bit deeper into it, but I almost feel like it's going to be like a DEX, but with high liquidity coins. But that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. And then let me see, what were the other ones? Oh, here was a good one here. Two firms merged to open 100-acre Bitcoin mining farm in Texas with a capacity of 1 gigabyte. I mean, the fact that they're making that type of investment um, is something that I think we need to pay attention to also, because we know that Russia signaled that it wanted to make sure that it was mining at least 20% of Bitcoin. So maybe this is companies seeing the opportunity there to go in and mine, but you need like a tremendous amount of hashing. And I think the investment actually is $150 million to compete to complete the whole infrastructure of that. But that's going to go down in Texas. Today, U.S. Federal Reserve exploring digital dollar and its effects on monetary system. This is almost like the Federal Reserve chairman Jerome Powell. He's a really smart guy. Um, I think that they have to look at this also in response to China wanting to launch the digital yuan. They have to start looking in terms of putting their currencies on making them tokenized.
Mm-hmm.
I think stable coins have made a statement, right? How they've trended and how they continue to go on exchanges with additional pairs. So this is news like this, I think, is going to make 2020 really interesting, because it's a race between two governments trying to build these new ecosystems, these blockchain ecosystems and things that are tokenized, and build currencies at the same time, building the USD, the yuan, and figuring out how settlements are going to be done in the future. Right now, when you look at something like oil, 90% of oil is usually settled inside of the US dollar. So there's a lot of incentive there for people to move also, because when they're inside the US dollar, they are you have to go by the rules, and if the US has sanctions on a certain nation, then you can't really trade with them. So I think the idea is they want to move away from that. But it's fascinating what's happening right now, just like on regulation, on government now, and again, we were in this when they were saying this is funny money, it's not real, it's dead, it's over. Here we are. One more is Singapore proposes oversight of Bitcoin, so for BTC futures markets. And last is restrictions worldwide show why it's vital to be your own bank. So these are that started to trend also. So those are some of the headlines. Real quick, BC yesterday. So we covered a little bit about some of the cannabis stocks yesterday.
Okay.
Right? And I shared a website called Marijuana Index, which tracking some of these. But I was sharing with everybody that this is like a big bleed out, right? So these things normally come to market, put in their tops, and then they bleed out. So some of these, when you look at them, they're heading into value and they look really good. Then today, 8 hours ago, on CNBC, they say House committee approves landmark bill legalizing marijuana at the federal level.
Mm.
So that's in. So I guess this is kind of one of the reasons why that candle came in. But as it moves towards that, uh, uh, um, if they remove cannabis from being Schedule 1, these things are going to go.
Yeah.
These are going to go, man. So I think this is a category. I was suggesting that for anybody that's interesting, I'm going to follow it and share it with everyone. But let's see. We're going to see how this whole thing goes down. It is a market, and the other thing is that China is also big in the CBD market. So it's going to be a growing market, and some of these companies do different things. So there was that, and let me see. There was yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it, BC.
Okay.
Those are the headlines. That's everything I wanted to share. Market, it's going to sit sideways, right? We're just
Yep.
kind of just hanging tight right now for a moment. I'm not seeing. I shared with everyone yesterday. I wouldn't mind having price come down to clean up this area right here. This kind of tail sticking out. That would be kind of cool. Maybe get checked here by the 100. Put a bottom in, and let's see. Let me see here. Yeah, on the 4 hour, she's just sitting sideways. No big deal. On Tensor, I don't really see anything too crazy going on right now. She's holding, 8K 7,900. There's some good support there, but I think the market is just a bit asleep right now. And let's just look at here. I'm going to look at top trader sentiment. People are looking long right now, and looks like margin also they're sitting in a long position. Any questions, guys? Or I haven't read the chat. Let me just look real quick. Let me see. Okay. That must be who the hell spent that much money for that? Yeah. Well, there's a market. Crypto Ninja was, I think, referring to the Crypto Kitty,
Yeah.
right? How do you expect it to appreciate in value? That's a little different though. That's not like a Pokemon. If people are buying it, I will sell it. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. You might wind up getting, like, if you can buy a cap for $10 or $20 and just hold it, and that for some reason just takes off. I find that fascinating. Let's see. I can buy a fraction of one of those
And you
things.
never know. It happened once before with this little thing called Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean,
never know.
These are
never know.
This is the baseball card of this new generation.
Yeah.
They just do it with these digital assets now as collectibles or non-fungible, right? These little, they're like one of a kinds, and they're time stamped on the blockchain.
It's awesome.
All right, so let's see. Government. All right, so Simon was saying, how can we benefit from these developments? That's huge. Cannabis market will boom. I don't have enough fiat for all these opportunities. I'm a weekend investor in the cannabis market.
Weekend investor.
There you go. So let me see. I like the addition of the cannabis sector here. Been watching it for a while. Okay, cool. That's good. Crypto DJA. I always have a tough time pronouncing DJA. I don't know why. I think you know why?
There's with your brain.
No, there's a brand called DJI, that is for like it has like a line of drones. It has some cool cameras. So I'm
Mm.
thinking about that. So that's what's screwing me up right now. I, yeah, I'm gonna continue to share on the cannabis side because I do think that there's different applications also for the plant, not just for it could be used for recovery. There's many different applications. What else, BC?
That's pretty much it, Mr. Mo. That's pretty much it. I'll see. Well, I'll see how the market is shaking tomorrow in the morning, and then anything interesting going on, guys. And I'll make another brief morning
Oh,
brief video, and then tomorrow we'll be back here at 7 p.m. for our Zoom session.
yeah. Okay,
All right,
cool.
everybody. Thank you very much, guys, and you guys all have a wonderful day, morning, evening, depending on where you are in the world, and have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.